Hey everyone, it's Simon with Caddis Fly Shop and Oregon Fly Fishing Blog. Today I'm going to be tying a stimulator-like kind of attractor caddis for you today on one of these Ahrex hooks. They're Sedge dry barbless hook. It's a good, all-around caddis pattern. We're seeing a lot of caddis this time of year, so this is something that you definitely want to try. So looking at this fly here, we're using a couple materials. I tie it in a size 14. You can kind of do whatever size you want, but I tie it smaller because that's kind of the size bugs we're seeing right now. I also want it big enough for me to see. But you could tell it uses some of this newer Veevus Lucent Body. It's a very small chenille, some Flashabou, some very small Flashabou wrapped around to give it some flash, and then deer hair and Hackle. So it's pretty simple, it's a pretty quick tie. You can crank them out pretty quickly. So we'll get started here. So for the hook, what I'm using again is this Ahrex FW530 size 14. It is the Sedge dry hook. And the thread I'm using is Semperfli Nanosilk 50 denier in olive is what I'm using for this one. This thread is super strong, and what I really like about it is so strong it's sometimes hard to cut, but what I really like about it is it doesn't take up a lot of space when I'm trying to tie smaller stuff, and it's just pretty strong. So as long as you don't need to build a body up on your fly, this is something I like to use. So I will start with tying a little bit of this Flashabou Mirage in. This is kind of a mix of really thin Flashabou. It's like a pearl color and silver, so you kind of get both in the pack. I use it more for little accents on flies like this than I really do for streamers and stuff, which is probably more what it's for. But that's what this flash is right here. And then we will tie in a little bit of this Veevus Lucent Body. It's a very small chenille, it comes on a spool like this. I think I've used it in a video before. I'm a fan of it for bodies. It's a really quick way to kind of dub a body. So we'll take some wraps to the back here and then wrap up. It's right about here where we're going to put the wing. And so now we're going to kind of wrap this up just like any other chenille. There looks good, and then we'll pinch this one off here. I don't want to crowd the front too much, mainly because the deer hair, after you tie it in, takes up a good chunk of space, so I kind of want that out of the way. I take a couple of wraps towards the back after the chenille, so there's like a little flash spot on the butt of the fly, and then I just take some wraps up the body like this, and we'll pinch this off. And so it's pretty quick, we're already done with the body here. That's kind of why I like these really small chenilles that are coming out. They're pretty popular. For the wing, I'm using Nature Spirit all-purpose deer. Elk will work or kind of whatever. This is just what I like because of the color. And it's just what I grabbed when I first tied this. So pack it in your hair packer here. I try to measure it, just to the end of the fly really. So we're not really using that much of this hair, almost pretty much just like the tips. And I like to, a trick with tying these is you kind of want to measure before you really crank down on it. Like I want to make it just a hair shorter. And you're going to notice it makes a big mess in the front, which is why I left plenty of space in the front. So I'm going to take some wraps through this mess right here, and then I will kind of start trimming some of this out. I just want it to kind of hold. This, again, is why we left some space, just because it makes kind of a big mess when you're trimming all this out. You still need to leave a little bit of space to do the hackle. And then I'll do a couple more wraps through here and then trim it even more. I really just want to make sure that hair doesn't come out when I keep messing with it. Like, this will help a little bit. Just kind of clean this out, because you got to make some space to put those hackle wraps on. Okay, so then I will kind of wrap through this stuff to really stick it down. And then to help the wing stick up, I like to take I wrap back on the wing just a little bit to kind of keep it back, and then I pull the hairs up and take one wrap like that, and that kind of keeps the wing up from the body. So if it's wrapping around the hook shank, that's fine. This is a really easy way to kind of fix that and keep it from kind of just wrapping around the whole hook. Cool, so now we have the wing done. The hackle I'm using on this is a medium barred ginger, I think. Yeah, barred medium ginger from Whiting. You can kind of use whatever. I just use this because it matches the color of the Lucent Body pretty well. So this is what I grabbed. It's not a huge size hackle. It's like a 16 or 18. I didn't want a really big one, but you know, if you do bigger, it probably won't mess up the fly. And lately I've been tying a bunch of my dries with this vertical hackle, kind of because if I wanted to ride higher, I can trim it out there. If I want it lower, you know, you kind of have two options. You can clip the fly down after. This little bit of dubbing I'm putting is this micro fine dub Baetis tan. Just a little bit of that to help hold this this hackle in place. This Nanosilk's good, but it's not really great for wrapping hackle on. It tends to slip, so I tend to do pretty tight hackle wraps on this, just so I can kind of get some floatiness. And then we'll pinch this off here, do a couple of wraps to secure it, clip the excess, and then we will whip finish here. And then we're done. If you really crowd the last wrap, you might have some pieces stick out like this. You can just kind of clip these little pieces of hackle off, but that's pretty much it. This is a super, pretty quick tie of a, you know, general Sedge or Caddis attractor. Give it a try, let us know how you like it.